Superman Unbound is a DC animated film that is based off of Superman Brainiac that was written by, surprise, surprise, Jeff Johns, who, I'm telling you, he is the go-to guy when it comes to current DC stories to adapt. I don't blame them. The plot of this movie is we see Superman, obviously, trying his hardest to protect Metropolis whenever something dangerous happens. Not only is he dealing with his cousin, Kara, who has arrived on Earth, and he's trying to help her deal with her powers and her issues. He's also trying to balance a relationship with Lois Lane, but Brainiac arrives. And Brainiac is not only somebody who goes around collecting information from planets and then destroying them, but Earth is his next target. Now, what I thought of Superman Unbound was, I like this. I like this a lot, actually. Now, I don't know if, I'm assuming, actually, that this is after the New 52. Even though Superman doesn't have his new version of his costume, I'm pretty sure this is New 52. So I was interested to see how this particular story handled Kara, Supergirl, how she basically has come to Metropolis, Earth, and has only been here for a couple of months, and to her, everything that happened with Krypton and her parents on Kandor, that just happened to her. So she's still dealing with all of that. Some people might see this and think that she comes off as whiny and complaining and not something you want to see in a superhero. But you have to remember, with Supergirl, she's only a teenager. She can't be anywhere near where Clark Kent is as Superman. Clark has dealt with everything that's happened to Krypton. I don't want to say he's over it, but he's dealt with it. And he's been on Earth for 30 years or so. Where Kara, again, this just happened with her. And I liked seeing somebody, even Lois says this later on, seeing somebody with Superman's powers, but shows that she's scared, shows that she's vulnerable on an emotional level. It's something that you never really get from Superman himself, so that's what I liked about her. And also through her, since she did have interaction with Brainiac and what he did to Kandor, you get some flashbacks with that, and seeing what he did to other planets, what he's still doing to other planets, was kind of disturbing, right? I mean, he has these robots that come into these planets, and it's like they suck the brain cells out of these aliens, these creatures, and then kill them instantly, like sharp objects through their head, through their skulls. Wow. And that's an animated movie. Speaking of something in an animated movie, well, before I get there, I want to talk about Lois and Clark's relationship, because they're, in fact, dating at the very beginning, and Lois even knows Clark's secret, that he's Superman. All of this I liked, and I don't want to say that this is the most I've liked Lois, since I don't know what she was like before they got together, or before she knew that he was Superman, but I do like her a lot here. I like that she not only wants to be with him, but she wants to make it public. Clark's the one who doesn't want people to know that they're together, because it could mean bad things for Lois if any of his enemies find out that he's Superman. I mean, it's the classic superhero trope, right? Where it's a secret for them. And either they have to keep themselves as a secret, or if they're in a relationship, then they can't let their enemies know about it. So it was there. It's something to deal with. I'm kind of glad that it was an issue, but it did make me like Lois a lot, that she just said no, it's her choice, and she wants to be in his life. And if there wasn't anything for that, the moment when she gives Brainiac the finger, she flips him off. Like, I didn't expect that in a PG-13 movie or an animated movie. It just surprised me. I laughed out loud. I loved it. I love Lois with an attitude. And she basically just stuck it to Brainiac. Now, I should talk about Brainiac for a little bit, because Brainiac is a villain that I think is a little, I don't want to say underrated, because I feel like people know him, but he's underappreciated, right? He hasn't been in one live-action version of Superman besides Smallville. And I liked how Smallville used him, but I always got confused and still to this day don't understand why a movie hasn't used him. They always go to Lex Luthor or Zod, and then watching this movie, I kind of got it. I mean, I still like Brainiac, but he would be tough, a tough villain, a tough character to get right. And you can't just fuck him up. You don't want the first time he's in a movie to be fucked up and butchered. He has a lot of layers to him. Not only just him coming from Krypton or the fact that he's a computer, but he's heartless, he's evil, and he does all these things. He's just at Superman's level as far as knowing everything about him, his weaknesses. I would love to see him in a movie, but I could see producers and writers in Hollywood not knowing where to start with this character. So it makes sense because Lex and Zod are their most simplest Superman villains, so it makes sense why they've never attempted to do Brainiac. Seeing Supergirl with a secret identity is something I thought was amusing because I know it was in the Supergirl movie, but seeing her with the wig and glasses I thought was just kind of amusing, living on the farm, even living with Clark's Earth parents, the Kents, was interesting. And also the fact that Jonathan Kent is still alive. I know that a lot of comics haven't actually killed Jonathan. That, I think, only came from the Superman movie from 1978. So the movie is where Jonathan's death comes from, becomes canon. But that's my version of Superman. So whenever I do see a story where his father is alive, it always catches me off guard. And Superman is voiced by Matt Bomer, which I liked him a lot as the role. And being able to see Superman beat up robots and punch things was great. It's one of the things that I love about Man of Steel so much is that sometimes, just sometimes, you don't get enough of Superman just punching things. And since he doesn't kill, he has that one rule. Since he's fighting robots, he can destroy them. He can just crush their heads, rip them apart, use his lasers to cut them in half. I loved seeing him and Supergirl at the end fight these robots and cause some serious destruction just because they could, showing how powerful they are. I love that. I love when they just punch evil in the face and destroy it. Anyways, guys, I had fun with this movie. It came out of nowhere. I haven't really heard people talk about this, so I'm glad I watched it because I did enjoy it. Let me know in the comments below if you too have seen Superman Unbound. What do you think of it? Like, comment, subscribe. Later.